Today on TOKKANTE, we're doing things a little differently. We're taking things outside, vlog style. Let's look at the latest releases from Watches and Wonder 2021 in Geneva this week. What I think about the YEAS, the MAYS and the NAYS. Hi everyone and welcome to Le Vlog. This week I decided to do things a little differently because this is just my reaction to Watches and Wonder 2021. This is not a scripted video. I took some notes and it's going to be off the cuff, you know, my thoughts about what watches came out this week. So just a quick note on why I'm wearing a mask outside. Here in Hong Kong we still have a mandatory mask wearing requirement outside in all public places. So I know you'd all like to look at my pretty face instead, but you know, it's $600 fine if I get caught outside without a mask and I can't look at the camera and if there are any cops around at the same time. So let's do this with the mask on. Let's try to do it without the mask. I don't think anyone is going to come and get me on the rooftop here. So let's talk about the YEAS first. I'm not sure whether this was a very good year, but there was some good stuff in the presentation this year so far. I'm recording this on a Thursday and Watches and Wonder just started about 2 days ago. So it's not the full coverage, but let's look at what we have so far. So looking at my note here, let's talk about Rolex, the big one first. The Explorer is going back to 36 mil. I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. To me, it doesn't really matter. I'm not planning to get one. I was happy with the 39, but I know that traditionalists, you know, prefer the 36. So, you know, good for them. I guess it's a good news. So I'll give that a yay. The other thing is the Sky Dweller on a Jubilee bracelet. I think the Sky Dweller anyway is kind of an oversized Datejust, so it makes sense. It's gonna be lighter, I think, on the Jubilee bracelet. So I think it's good news. I also think it looks better than on the Oyster Flex. Then Tudor. Tudor released the Black Bay Chrono in you know, the Panda and the Reverse Panda, black and white. I think that one looks very good, looks very nice. They managed to make it a little bit thinner too. So that's the winner for me this year for Tudor, more than the Black Bay 58, which we will talk about in the next section. A.Lange Sohne. New version of their triple split. I mean, it's not like anyone is going to be able to get it anyway. Well, a few lucky ones. But I think in the blue dial on the rose gold looks killer. That's very nice, as well as the A.Lange 1 perpetual calendar. Wow, that goes right to the grail list. Very beautiful with the salmon dial, amazing. I had to throw in some German watches in the YEAS, and A.Lange Sohne of course has a place in it. So Chopard, amazing QF Jubilee this year. I think this one is going to fly under the radar. Not many people are going to be considering it. I think it's only 25 you know, copies of it anyway. But looks amazing, looks beautiful, has the amazing 96 movement in it. Chopard is a brand that does amazing things, especially in the LUC collection, and not enough people actually consider them. Now the surprise for me was Breitling. I usually, you know, Breitling is not really on my radar. I'm not really a huge Breitling fan, even though, you know, things have been changing slowly recently with Kern at the helm of Breitling. But I think this year the duograph, the B09 with the pistachio dial is a winner, is a killer green dial. It's beautiful. I think it's very traditional 1940s chronograph, you know, bicompax chronograph with a manual wind movement. It's not too thick. It's 40 mil. It's modern, but at the same time traditional. I think it's not, you know, it's well priced. That's the winner Breitling for me this year. And let's talk about Hublot. I know, Hublot. But you have to give them credit where credit is due. And I think this year, the Big Bang Integral Tourbillon with the full sapphire crystal bracelet, that's amazing. I'm not aware of any other brand who has been able to do a sapphire crystal bracelet. I think they're the first one. They try new things with materials. You know, you have a few watches with a full ceramic bracelet, but full sapphire crystal, I would never wear it, but I'm glad they are making it, and it looks, you know, it looks baller if you can pull it off. And the last one is the Greubel Forsey, the GMT Sport, which now comes on the metal bracelet, and it's the first bracelet for Greubel Forsey. It looks amazing. I think they're only making 33 of them in the world. Even their website mentions only 33 lucky collectors will be able to get their hands on one. It ain't gonna be me, but I already like that I loved the Balancier S before on a rubber strap, but I'm a bracelet guy. So if I could, I would definitely get this one on a bracelet. Now, let's look at the meh. And starting with Rolex again. I think it's kind of a meh year for Rolex. Okay, the Batman is back and the Pepsi is available on the Oyster bracelet. So both of them, you know, Batman and Pepsi on Oyster bracelet. Okay, right, what else is new? I mean, you know, people who bought the Batman at huge premium when it was discontinued, I'm sure gonna get pretty pissed that it's now back. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be able to get it anyway if you work in a Rolex store, but eventually that means there will be more and more of it. So potentially that will affect the price a little bit down. Not sure. I mean, it's not surprising, it's not exciting, but there you go. It's there if you want it or if you plan to get in line. Now Patek. Patek. It seems like they ran out of inspiration. This year, you know, the 5711 is being discontinued, and they said they were gonna give it a last run with a special version of it. And the best thing they could come up with is a green dial, olive green dial. I mean, sure, it looks fine, it looks nice. I'm sure in real life it looks amazing. But come on, that's all you could come up with, a green dial. In 2016, I believe, when it was the 50th anniversary and they had the white gold version with the blue dial, they at least had an inscription on it. Or maybe they could have come up, I don't know, with an engraving from the ghost of Gerald Genta in the back, or something a little more special than just a green dial. It seems like they're just riding the wave of what's in trend now. But you know, in 20 or 30 years, I'm not sure if that's what you wanted to send, you know, the 5711 off just with a green dial. Then the other one, the 5990, okay, they came up with a blue dial on rose gold. Yeah, sure, I mean, also it looks good. Blue dial with rose gold looks nice. But is that all they're coming up with this year? I certainly hope that there's more in store for them this year. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a letdown. Now Cartier. Okay, a few updates with Cartier, with the Santos, with the Cloche, you know, Collection Privée. Few things here and there, but I think mostly what's going to be popular is the new Tank Must de Cartier, the new line. It's a quartz version. Again, yeah, I'm sure it's going to sell. It's very commercial, but it's kind of meh. Of course, they have a green version. I mean, 2021 is like, it's green everywhere. That's why I'm wearing green today. I guess in you know, in homage to the green soup that is 2021. And then last one, Hermes. Well, they're not making a green one, at least that I know of. They released the new H08 watch this year on a bracelet and on strap. I think this is kind of meh as well. I mean, first when I saw it, it reminded me a little bit of the Bell & Ross B05. Well, it's not that, but what kind of shocked me or surprised me, I don't know, is the bracelet version. It looks like a Zine bracelet. I mean, sure, it's probably better made, but it looks like an Hermes watch on a Zine bracelet. So, meh. Okay, change of scenery and sitting in the jungle here a little bit for the nays. The first nay for me this year is Baume and Mercier. They released something called the Riviera, which they call iconic. I mean, please, iconic. I had never heard of this watch until now. I mean, let me know in the comments if you had, but I think they're very late to the party for the steel sport watch on an integrated bracelet. I mean, it looks like, I don't know, it's a plan B for Chopard Alpine Eagle. I don't know what you think of it, but I think, you know, they're very late to the party. It's been done and overdone many times now. Every brand on the planet, I think, has already released a sport steel watch on an integrated bracelet. It's too late. Move on. They didn't even come up with a green dial. Now, the other big nay for me, it's Rolex with the two-tone Explorer. I think that's a big no-no. The Explorer line had always been the tooliest of tool watches for Rolex, and there had never been a full gold or two-tone for the Rolex Explorer or the Explorer 2. You know, if we don't count the Milgauss and the Air King, it was the last basically tool watch line for Rolex with no gold in it. Even the Sea Dweller in 2017 or 2018 came up with a two-tone. I think, you know, it makes commercial sense. I'm sure, you know, it's Rolex. They know they're gonna sell a bunch of them, but I don't like it. I don't think it looks good. Another May for me is Tudor. Going back to Tudor, is the Black Bay 58 releases this year. I'm not sure. The top version looks nice on a silver case, but what I really don't like about it is the open case back. I mean, the movement doesn't need to be seen. The Tudor, in-house movement might be a very good and tough movement, very reliable, but it's kind of like Rolex. You don't want to see them. They're not really beautiful to look at. They're workhorse movements. But no one needs to see a display case back on these movements. So I think that's where it fails for me, both in the top version and then the full gold version. Especially on the full gold version, which is very expensive. It's about, I mean, it's close to $20,000, 15,000 US dollars, 17,000. I don't have the price in US dollars. I just saw it in Hong Kong dollars. But I mean, when you turn it over and you see that movement, I think it would have looked much better with a full case back. Also the top version, I'm thinking if it might be a little bit too fashion watch than a real classic watch. And then the last name it's Breitling, going back to Breitling, but it's the other one, the Datora complete calendar. I think it's too big. It's 42. It's way too thick. It's 15.3 millimeters. And it's a complete calendar, which means it's not to be confused with the Patek 5270G, which looks similar. That one is a perpetual calendar, so you never have to set it up until maybe 2100. Or an annual calendar, which you set once a year. But a complete calendar can be a pain in the butt to set. So yes, I understand it's a historical model for them, but at 15.3 and 42, it's too big, it's too chunky, and it's not elegant. And putting it on a salmon dial doesn't help. So that's it for today. Just a quick recap of the releases from the brand so far at Watches and Wonder 2021. What did you guys think? Which one is your favorite? Well, for me, I'm looking forward to trying that Breitling Pistachio dial. I think it looks really cool, and there's a store just downstairs from my office, so I'm definitely gonna check that out. Also the Tudor Black Bay Chrono in white dial, really like that one, and I think it's fairly priced. But which one's your favorite? Let me know. Also what you think about this type of content. It was my first time ever doing a vlog, so if you like it, we can do it again sometimes. And until then, always ask yourself, what makes you tick? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.